Ira Epstein of Linn Associates with your morning flash update for this Friday, October 4th, 2019. Well, today's the long-awaited jobs data numbers, and I'll get into them in a minute. The market did not, I want to repeat, did not have the crazy algorithm trading that you'd normally expect when you get a numbers. And that's more of a muted reaction to the market than anything. But as you can see, stock indices sharply higher. Metal markets, especially silver, got hit very hard. It's 21 cents almost, about 20 cents off its lows already. Gold market got hit pretty good and it's bounced. The dollar, muted reaction to it, but staying strong. In the pound, you're down because in Britain, Mr. Johnson, PM there, has said that he will comply with British law, that if he cannot get a deal done, he will write a letter asking for an extension to the EU. That doesn't mean they'll give it, and it doesn't mean anything will happen, but that's not a positive sign. It takes away some of his really rough bargaining edge that he had. We're getting a nice bounce here in the energy markets, maybe a bit overdone. And on the grains, well, I'd be watching. I think this weekend what you're looking at in grains is farmers are going to go, especially into their soybean fields. And anything that was planted late, I would guess they're going to do a little bit of run the combine, see what the yield looks like in a couple of rows or an acre or something, and get a feel for what they think. We have an important crop report coming up next week, and I think the market's going to play that. The question is, because the report was October 1st, anything they're doing now, the market's going to look at and they're going to say, okay, it's even worse or better, you play it accordingly. Now, the non-farm payroll numbers, well, let's look at them. 136,000, that's the key number. So the market was close to the 145 guessed. It wasn't under the 130,000. The non-farm payrolls, they kicked up from August. So this thing shot up 38,000. That's a good number. Number two, they took the employment rate down to 3.5%. That's a 50-year low in unemployment. So the government is able to say, hey, things are good. Yes and no. And the reason is where the job's coming from. There's a lot of this is government. A lot of this is the census that's going on right now. So you've got to be careful with that. I also look at a couple of other things. The average hourly earnings. Well, month over month, they went down 0.4. When they're going down, it's a sign to you that the private sector isn't having the bid up to keep personnel. Then you look at productivity, and in the productivity area, not so great either. So I just am wondering, are we starting here to see the real first impact of this trade war? It's hit our ISM, it's hit other areas. Is it starting to be masked and actually showing up right here? And I think it is. Obviously, we want to get through the trade deals, which begin with China this week, and that'll give us another thing to worry about. The U.S. trade deficit, well, take a look, $54.9 billion. That's $400 million higher than the market thought at 54.5. So I look at that number, I'm not impressed. The Census Bureau released Friday today showed during August, crude oil exports were 2.72 million barrels a day. That's up from the 2.694 million barrels. But I'm also watching something else there. You know, in the Permian, if you watch the advertising that's on radio and TV, and it had been higher, 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 we need jobs. 2/3 of that has fallen off. So when the advertising falls off, it is a sign that the companies don't need the help that they had before. Stats Canada reported that the Canada posted a merchandise trade deficit, and by the way, it was smaller. It came in at 955 million Canadian dollars, and the market was for 1.05 billion, so that's better. The Ivy PMI came in at 48.7 on an adjusted basis, and if I'm correct, anything under 50 is contraction, so you want to be a bit cautious there. So how's this market going to play everything out? Well, I think it's going to spend the day digesting everything. I think there's pros and cons of the report we just saw. You're seeing that right here. I looked at the Fed Watch page before I did the show with you. I wanted to get an idea as to what traders think. And it's like 99% now that we'll have one more rate cut before the end of 2019. Now, will that mean that we're going to get something in October? The number we got today, I do not think dissuades those that are hawkish from wanting to make a rate cut right now. Had the number been under 130 million, I think that you might have had a few cracks there. I don't think they're changing their opinion, so this is all going to fall on Fed Chair Powell, who speaks today with the vice chair and will be asked probably about these numbers around, I think it's 1 o'clock p.m. Central Daylight Time. So you want to watch what happens with that speech that they're giving. I don't know the symposium they're quite at, but it'll be interesting to watch. As for the metal markets, well, I didn't see anything in here to help the copper market whatsoever. You know, one of the things I try to do for you each day is set you up in the morning before the trade is going for what's going on. I do this each morning at 6 in the morning. So what do? I'm up 4:35 in the morning and I'm reading already. And believe me, by 5:40 or so, I've read what I have to read. I have a good idea what's going on in Asia, Europe, what the U.S. is looking for, if there's an event overnight that's happened. And that's when I'm coming in and I'm trying to help you with your confidence in trading. So what I'm going to do is each morning I sit down, and I'm not in that video. This is a video that looks just like this, the charts, black like that. We're going to do typically 40 futures charts, 5 ETFs. The ETFs are the ones important to the different groups in the futures markets. The analysis that I'm going to do is I start you off with the morning fundamentals if there's anything important, such as I was talking today, the jobs data. Then I'm going to go really into the technical analysis. And what is the idea here? The idea here is to show you where support and resistance points are, where I think buys are coming in for you in the market, where you might want to consider buying, where the stop should be on a money management, and where the market might be headed. And in this video, I do say, I want you to buy here. I want you to sell there. Yeah, you're going to see me right. You're going to see me wrong. Nobody walks on water. And the beauty of it is covering all these charts. I'm covering the whole spectrum. Do I expect you to watch it? You know, this is 2020. You don't have to. There's a slide bar at the bottom. As you move it, stock indices will pop up, the word. Then the word currencies, meets. Go to the section you want or let the whole thing play. That's going to be up to you. But you can save time by going to the section you want. They light up and you're right there for what you need. That's too hard. On the side of the chart, there's going to be the name of each of these sections. Click it, and away you go with that. So if you think that you'd like to start the morning off by getting a recap, what the world's looking like, what the charts overnight look like, a way that you can do it in a quick, concise manner, maybe this is what you need. And I price it very reasonably. The first 30 days, $7.95. After that, if you decide to stay with it, it's $15. And you can even go to a one-year subscription. That whole charge is $156. So if you think about the $7.95, a tick in the S&P is more than that. A tick in the gold market is more than that. Come on. There's nothing here that's out of line. Even currencies, one tick is more than what we're talking for this 30-day period. It keeps this show going. It helps with everything, maybe that you're doing as well. How do you get to it? Go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. Under the keyword research, you'll see morning subscriber video. Just put your cursor over that, it'll slide down. You can also at any point here to get there, click on this icon. It'll take you to that page. And of course, the old-fashioned way, call us. We will accommodate you, take everything from you right on the phone and get you set up instantly. By the way, with all this, you're going to get your phone app. So yes, you'll be able to see what's going on. I don't do texts. I put a push notification. So you have an Android or a smartphone. If you download our app, it'll play the video. It'll give you quotes, charts. It's all included in this price. Without it, it's $40 a month. I think it's pretty reasonable. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a great weekend. I'll see you late this afternoon as I put out our market wrap-up with the weekend edition. Take care now.